Greetings, Westminster family. I miss you and I hope that we will be together again soon. I appreciate those of you who have participated in our weekly virtual fellowship. Even though it's better in person, it's nice to see your faces and hear your voice. If you need any help getting on the line to get the service or participating in our virtual fellowship, please let me know. Call me, email me, text me, or the church office so we can help keep you connected. Mary Lee has done a great job keeping us connected online and sending out bulletins, announcements, and sermons to folks who don't have internet access. If you do use the internet and are not receiving at least one email announcement or text each week, please let us know so we can make sure that you are connected and getting the church news. The Sanctuary Project has taken quite a bit longer than we anticipated. The mold remediation part should be finished by tomorrow, which will be August 14th. But then while the specialized lift is still here, they will be next week installing ceiling fans to help prevent a return of the mold growth, as well as replacing burnt out bulbs in the ceiling and chandeliers with LED bulbs. And then after that, we'll be sprucing up the hardwood floors. And finally, the pews will be reinstalled. It looks like it will be early September at the latest when the sanctuary will be all back in order again. There are no immediate plans to return to in-person worship. The Presbytery of Great Rivers has determined that all of their business meetings, etc., will be virtual until the end of December. A few churches have opened this summer for in-person worship, but of those few, some of them have closed again because of outbreaks of the virus in their communities. With some localities around Peoria beginning in-person school attendance, we will look at September and see what is happening with the numbers of COVID cases here in this around Westminster. We are in unusual circumstances. The church has not been in this position in over 100 years. I urge you to keep in contact with our church family, especially those that live alone and those who don't have internet access. Make phone calls or send a note. I'm sure that they will be greatly appreciated. Today, I'm going to give you a short introduction to the scripture readings for Sunday. My hope is that this will enhance your virtual participation in the worship service. I would like to start a Zoom Bible study in September. It would be less than an hour and would go further in depth to the scriptures for the following Sunday. If you are interested in participating, please let me know. This would be live on Zoom and then put on the website for you to watch later if you are not available during the time that it is originally occurring. So today I'll give you brief introductions to the readings for August 16th. Our Old Testament reading is from Genesis 45. For many weeks, our Old Testament readings have been from the Abraham saga. God made a covenant with the elderly and childless Abraham, promising that his descendants would number as many as the stars in the sky, and through his descendants, God's salvation would extend to all people of all nations on the earth. To gain more insight into today's scripture passage, I recommend that you begin the Joseph story at chapter 35 and extends to chapter 50. Joseph's story provides the transition from the book of Genesis to the book of Exodus, explaining how the Hebrew people got to Egypt, where they eventually became slaves. At this stage in the story of Joseph, who is the great-grandson of Abraham and Sarah, Joseph reveals his true identity to his 10 half-brothers and one full brother, Benjamin, son of Rachel. Out of jealousy for their father's preferential treatment of Joseph, his half-brother, sons of his father and Leah, had sold him into slavery when he was a young man. Now, years later, his half-brothers had come to Egypt during a widespread famine in the Middle East to buy food to take home to the extended family still living in Canaan. Joseph's brothers had not recognized him, and Joseph took advantage by playing some deceptive games with them. These machinations caused great anxiety for his brothers and for his father Jacob, to whom they reported. Where our reading starts today, Joseph's desire for reconciliation with his family overcomes his desire for revenge. This scene is a Hallmark movie moment, but if you look closely, the reconciliation is not complete. This will not occur until chapter 50. Their relationship here is more master-servant than brotherly love. Although his half-brothers are overjoyed that their past action did not have the terrible consequences they might have imagined, they were still apprehensive because Joseph had power over them. In Jewish worship from antiquity to today, a psalm is read or sung as a response to the Torah reading, the Torah being the same as the first 5 books of our Old Testament. Psalm 133 is a poetic ode to the blessing of family unity. In our epistle reading for today, the Apostle Paul has heard about divisions in the Roman Church between Gentile and Jewish Christians. Previously, Jews had been expelled from Rome, but by this time there's a new emperor who has allowed them to return. This created conflict in the church between the Jewish Christians and the Gentile Christians. In his letter to the Roman Church, Paul announces that God has not broken covenant with the Jews, even if they did not accept Jesus as their Messiah. He likens this situation to a tree, in which the Jews are the roots and the Gentile Christians are grafted on through faith. Without the roots, there would be no branches. Paul affirms that Jews and Gentiles are still brothers and sisters in God's family, and it is by God's grace that they are all saved. The gospel reading from Matthew has troubled readers throughout Christian history. When a Canaanite woman, whose people had historically been enemies of the Hebrew people, begs him to heal her daughter of demons, Jesus' response seems lacking in compassion and even bigoted. Through her persistence, it appears that Jesus has an epiphany, revealing to him that God has given him his mission to a much larger family than his own religious and ethnic group. I hope this puts the readings in context for you and will enhance your participation in the coming service. May the peace of Christ be with you.